Today, I want to talk about how the shorts are desperate to get rid of Adam Aron. The shorts need AMC to go bankrupt so it can be seller boxed where shorts never have to close. But Adam has been fighting tooth and nail to ensure this does not happen. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, we heard today that Adam Aron has been the victim of an extortion campaign to hand over hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I also think there's something much more nefarious at work here, so I want to explain why. Today, Adam tweeted saying, "Throughout my long career, I've successfully led many prominent companies and am proud of my impeccable reputation." Saying in recent years, AMC's millions of retail shareholders have played a central role in my life. Your passion for our company is one of my key motivators in doing all I can to help AMC survive. He said, "Unfortunately, last year I became the victim of an elaborate criminal extortion by a third party, who was, unknown to me, related to false allegations about my personal life." Saying a vigorous federal criminal investigation ensued, which resulted in the extortionist being arrested, convicted of a felony, and spending nearly a year in jail. Now you can actually find the criminal indictment of this extortionist, and there's something very interesting on this second page here. It says, to execute her scheme, the defendant employed sophisticated and devious means. She created and carried on multiple online personas. Interestingly, she obtained the private cell phone number of not only the victim, but also the victim's son and 6 members of the board of directors of the victim's company. Now, what's really fascinating and intriguing to me here is how did this extortionist obtain 6 separate phone numbers from AMC's board of directors? Where did she have access to that information? For example, if you try and Google the personal phone number for Adam Aron's son or any of these board of director members, you're obviously not going to get any public results. CEOs may have public their business mobile number or maybe the AMC number, but they never publicize personal phone numbers for obvious reasons. So how did the extortionist obtain not just one private phone number, but in total 8 separate private cell numbers? I imagine the extortionist must have been given this phone number by somebody that has access to all of the above personal numbers. So I can imagine the only kind of person or institution that's going to have the private mobile numbers of 6 separate unrelated board of director members is going to be, say, a bondholder or, say, a bank or banker. Maybe somebody inside Citibank who's responsible for AMC's share issues handed out these personal mobile numbers. Maybe it was somebody doing the shorts a favour or the shorts doing a favour themselves to try and get rid of Adam Aron from AMC. Especially as the mainstream media, who are owned by short sellers, are still telling us or begging us not to double down on AMC stock ahead of Taylor Swift's film debut, and stating flat out that they believe Taylor Swift will not save AMC stock. Now obviously I can't give you financial advice, I can't tell you to buy, sell, trade or do anything else with AMC stock if you own it or not, but what I can do is tell you the facts about how much money AMC and Taylor Swift are making from this deal. Rachel tweeted saying Taylor Swift has already generated $100 million of profit from movie ticket pre-sales alone. Saying Swift and her team will earn about 57% of all of the money generated just from these ticket pre-sales, due to Swift's decision to pursue a non-traditional rollout plan by partnering directly with AMC. The Taylor Swift Eras film tour has already done over $200 million in ticket pre-sales, so much so they're having to release the film early with additional film times. And don't forget that while Taylor Swift earns 57% of this revenue, AMC earns the other 43%. And for any films that are shown in separate cinemas or in separate theatres, AMC still takes a cut with 0 cost. Especially as this one singular artist film alone is expected to gross over $2 billion, with many more films coming out down the line. AMC, as a result, is expected to generate billions. Billions of dollars in revenue per showing or per artist film, and billions of dollars in profits in total. And what's incredible about this, as Boss Blunts has tweeted, he said 50% of all US publicly traded companies have negative profit margins, but AMC has positive margins. You can see at least 50% of all public companies have negative margins, many of those having very negative margins, but yet AMC is profit generative. Yes, this is all US publicly listed firms, including those in the S&P 500, but also including those still listed on the OTC markets. But what I can also say is that actually many S&P 500 companies, even companies in the top 10 and top 20, do not generate profits. Some of the biggest companies in the world, worth tens if not hundreds of billions of dollars, don't generate a single penny in profits. But yet AMC is profit generative, and those margins will only be getting larger and larger as the months go by, especially with Q3 and Q4 looking extra profitable. And Coincodex also predicts that AMC is to soar by at least a whopping 500% by 2024, saying that based on AMC's expected increase in revenues and profits, AMC's stock should gain at least 518% and should be trading upwards of $61 per share. Obviously, this is good news that even the mainstream media is expecting AMC to at least 5x, but also don't get it twisted, that is not a squeeze scenario. This calculation from Coincodex is basically a minimum calculation of what AMC should be worth based on its profits and its revenues. A squeeze scenario is obviously much different, with short sellers being squeezed out of their short positions, forced to close out, rocketing the price upwards. But this also really ties into this tweet from Jay House, where he says that he strongly feels the shorts will let it run to $40 or $50 and have the media hail it as a short squeeze. But said remember, the normal price range for months was $40 to $70 per share pre-split, and that was already a manipulated price, with the float sold 10 to 15 times over. And he said, I'll save my excitement for when we're into the hundreds and the thousands and the price is flickering by $20 increments. I also wanted to go through my fast moving momentum news play of the day, which was SECO or Seku Holdings. I want to explain what a gap and go strategy actually is and how it can play out. You can see here yesterday, SECO was trading around 36 cents per share. In the after hours yesterday as well, it ran up to highs of $3.60. As I also said for the remainder of the after hours and in the pre-market, that stock price had cooled off, but was making a run back upwards towards the open. So the gap and go strategy is where you wait for a convincing break of this pre-market high. You wait until 2, 3 or 4 minutes have passed and the stock price remains above this high. You don't jump in as soon as this pre-market high breaks, because often you see a fake breakout where the price then falls back below. So you wait for 2, 3 or 4 minutes to pass above that high and then you jump in riding that wave upwards. As I tweeted yesterday, we had TPST, which set this after hours and pre-market high around $1.15, $1.20. That high then broke and remained above for a few consecutive minutes and then was off to the races all day. So far this morning, the trade for SECO has been a non-starter. What I mean by that is that the pre-market high hasn't broken, so there was no need to jump into the trade. This, I think, is one of my very first important lessons to you guys. Many people get into a really bad habit of trying to force trades. They get into a trade before they have conviction or before they have confirmation, and it often doesn't play out for them. But as I said, and as I want to teach you, not taking a trade is absolutely okay. If you try and force a trade, you often end up losing money. It's best to wait for a perfect setup to maximize your gains and minimize your losses. Over the next few days and the next few weeks, I want to give more and more trading tips and trade ideas. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.